Kātani, tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Tēnā koe te whare, te raurangatirama, tēnā koutou katoa. The Māori Party stands to take a brief call on the New Zealand Security Intelligence Amendment Bill and the Crimes Amendment Bill number 3. These bills are yet another in a long line of legislation preparing us for the Rugby World Cup. The legislation proposes that in order to support effective security operations, we need to update the warrant framework to take into account the technological advances that have been made in the storage and communication of information. Law Commissioner Dr Warren Young has apparently provided an independent analysis of the bill and was satisfied that the need for change was warranted and that the amendments proposed in this bill would enable the Security Intelligence Service with an opportunity to effectively undertake its statutory functions. Mr Speaker, I would have to say that as a general principle, the Māori Party has had concerns in the past around the operations of New Zealand's surveillance machinery as it impacts on Māori. There is, of course, the as yet unresolved concerns around the Urewera raids. The SIS have stated that they were not involved. They appear to have been brought into the issue because of a briefing on the raids that they gave the then opposition leader John Key. In that fateful period in October 2007, more than 300 police raided alleged military-style training camps in rugged Urewera ranges and in the Bay of homes in Auckland, Ruatoki, Palmerston North and Wellington. Later that month, the SIS issued a rare public statement to dispel speculation it wasn't involved in the police operation that culminated in the arrest of 17 alleged activists. In that release, Dr Warren Tucker, in his position as Director of Security, advised that the SOS has no powers to enforce security, such as arrest or detention, concluding that the operations were a police matter. But in his release, Dr Tucker did not address the issue of whether the SIS may have been involved in the year-long surveillance operation that led to the raids. And so in Māori communities, the question still remains unanswered. There are other concerns dating some 7 years ago, from a time around 2004, when there were allegations that the SIS had spied on members of the Māori Party and Māori organisations. An investigation by the Inspector General of Intelligence and Security found that spying had not in fact taken place. Mr Speaker, I make just a brief mention to this background as I think it is timely to consider two other events that have occurred in the last 2 days, also of bearing to this bill. The first, of course, is the historic agreement signed with Ngāi Tūhoe at Mātātua Marae in Ruatahuna on Saturday. The signing signalled a landmark in the relationship between Tūhoe and the government. And I have to say it is humbling to see the generosity of spirit exhibited by a people who have endured such bitter twists and turns in their interactions with the Crown over the last century or more. The second key event, of course, is the claim that's been described as the most significant claim in a generation, and that is, of course, Y262. Ko Aotearoa tēnei is the Waitangi Tribunal's report into that claim, and it describes how key priorities in the preservation and transmission of Māori culture, identity and knowledge should be shared between the Crown and Māori. I have to say that when it comes to this SIS bill and the urgency accorded any legislation paving the way for the Rugby World Cup fever to take over our nation, I am saddened that this most significant report has not been considered worthy of the same urgency. 20 years between the claim being made and the claim actually coming to report status is way too long. Indeed, what better time than Māori Language Week to bring to the fore the place of Māori culture, identity and traditional knowledge. And in fact, the Rugby World Cup 2011 provides an excellent opportunity to use Māori language knowledge as New Zealand showcases itself on the world stage. In keeping with the Māori Language Week theme of manaakitanga, this week provides us with an excellent opportunity to think about how we make people welcome when they are in our company and how we give regard to and care for others when hosting visitors. Manaakitanga is about keeping our visitors safe and secure, but it is also about extending the hand of welcome by sharing Māori culture as integral to national culture and identity. We support this New Zealand Security Intelligence Amendment Bill, Crimes Amendment Bill number 3 at its third reading, and we look forward to the companion legislation promoting the status of mātauranga Māori into our national agenda.
I call